didn't get it. Like, as I was doing it, I was like, this is weird. Because out of the corner of my eye, I saw Jessica look at me.
Hi, babe. Hi, babe. I'm Jamie. And I'm Jessica. And welcome to A Court of Books and Babes, a podcast where two best friends review, react to, and rate our, and soon to be yours.
Do that thing.
We're having a fight.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, when Jessica talks all together.
Okay. I think it's good.
Okay.
Okay, ready whenever you guys are.
Hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jessica.
And welcome to A Court of Books and Babes.
A podcast where two best friends review, react to, and rate our, and soon to be your, favorite fantasy books.
Let's dive in.
What are you reading these days?
Actually, right now I'm off brand, but I'm reading a non-romantasy or fantasy book.
Sacrilege.
It's The Midnight Library.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
There's a podcast called The Midnight Library. That's not it. It's a book.
Yes, it's a book.
Okay.
It's still like, I guess, has some fantasy elements, and there's like kind of a heaven, like limbo area.
Okay.
But like it's about a girl who basically, this doesn't give away anything, from the start of the book is going to kill herself, and it like counts down the hours until she does it for the first like bit of the book, and then she visits the Midnight Library and things ensue.
So what would you say? Is it fantasy then? It's just fantasy?
No, it's
Like psychological?
kind of like The Five People You Meet in Heaven. It's kind of like that vibe.
Oh, they're touching.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's like
lovely.
her old librarian from when she was in school, like grade school. It's so cute.
How far in are you?
I don't know. I'm doing it on my Kobo this time, like not paper book.
Oh my god. You are sacrilegious right now.
I know. So maybe like, I don't know, a quarter?
Okay.
It's hard to know because
You're like,
it's like
yeah.
X amount out of X amount.
Interesting.
It's good. I like it a
Cool.
lot.
Cool.
It's a nice departure.
Great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a palate cleanser
Yeah.
to like get back to the main course.
That's right. Totally.
I have returned to you Anathema and Quicksilver, which I liked both. I preferred Quicksilver over Anathema.
Speaking of sacrilege.
Right. And I'm now on From Ash and Blood.
From Blood and Ash.
Blood and Ash.
Get with it.
And I am obsessed with Hawk.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
I guess this isn't the first time you wrote a book after me, but like a series, yes.
Yes.
And I'm like, I finished book 4 recently.
Yeah.
And so then I'm going to read book 5. And 6 comes out in January 2026. So I have to get together.
I'm a big fan. I'm definitely gonna plow through the whole series. Double entendre intended. Yeah, Hawk is.
But our one friend did not love this. And when I started it, she was like, ugh. And I'm like, I dig it.
No, I love it. He's like playful and like teasy in that like RHYSAND way.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big fan.
I agree.
That's
I'm glad.
great. Okay, shall we get going?
Yeah, we should.
It is time to talk lore, lust, and loose morals as we unpack adventures, escape to new worlds, and of course, swoon over our best book boyfriends.
But before we dive into today's show, listen to this important disclaimer. We will be focusing on chapters 12 through 17 of A Court of Thorns and Roses, but this episode may have spoilers from the entire Mass universe.
This podcast has all of our favorite R words: romance, racy, risque, and of course, as such, it is rated R. Listen accordingly.
We'll kick off every episode with Babes Between the Lines,
Where we read what's written, obsess over what isn't,
and dig past the dialogue so you don't miss any mistakes, motives, or magic.
Okay, we're going to start with chapter 12. Feyre wakes up from her nightmare where she was forced to relive her unwitting murder of Andres. Rather than attempt sleep again and still racked with fear and anxiety, she decides to walk through the mansion and create a makeshift map of the massive building. Personally, I'd pour myself a couple of sleepy time tea, but I'm not gonna yuck her yum.
She's on me. That's right.
This was where we as readers learn that Feyre is illiterate. While she has a general grasp of letters, she can't fully read or write. This is a common theme in SJM books, and it's such a curious take from my perspective. What do you think that incorporating characters or highlighting and featuring characters that are illiterate, what do you feel like that does as a plot device?
Like another obstacle to overcome, maybe. And like, I don't know. For sure, when we get further into this book, like it's a big problem.
Yeah.
It's large.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big problem.
I think even with Fourth Wing, say Violet, they highlight how fragile she is. And there's always kind of this like thing that they have to overcome. I mean, she wouldn't be a heroine without it.
But wouldn't she? I feel like there's so many other things, like the family and poverty and the starvation and the wall. And
I feel like this is personal of her though, like because Nesta can read, Elaine can read. It's just Feyre.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. It sort of singles her out. Look, everyone's having a hard time south of the wall, but particularly Feyre is like pretty low. So yes, I see what you're saying. I think it's just interesting. I don't know that I've read another series where illiteracy was featured, and that's SJM has done it in Throne of Glass and in
Who's illiterate in Throne of Glass?
the witch who would be not Manon, but the one who
Oh,
ends up-
Elite.
Elite. Elite.
Again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's fantasy words. Yes, she's illiterate, and it's like brought up a couple of times, but nothing is like done about it. Like no one, I don't. Okay, fandom, don't get mad at me. I don't think anyone teaches her to read. They're just like, oh, that's too bad. Anyways, like let's go stop those witch towers.
Sorry,
Have you seen the guy on TikTok? It's the husband and wife, and he's reading Throne and Glass, and she's like, they started. I don't know if it's a podcast. We should check. But at the least, it's a TikTok account, and she films him reading. You haven't seen this?
No.
He just read. He just read the part where the witch is the 13. I'm being careful with my words because I am desperate to make my younger sister read this series, and I don't want to spoil it for her. She's probably not going to.
Yeah, plenty of yours.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's fine. I'll speak around it. Anyway, what happens to the 13 happens, and he is sobbing. Like, sobbing.
Because it's so sad.
It is sad. And he sobbed
That crushed my soul.
when they finally get
Saw the mask off.
yeah. And she's like, take it off, take it off, take it off. And that he was like
I have goosebumps.
sobbing. I do too. Yeah. Good part. As Feyre continues to wander the dark halls, she wishes she could risk a candle to light the way so that she could properly admire the various paintings adorning the walls. Even as the thought comes into her mind, it's immediately rebuffed by another, unsurprisingly, with Nesta's voice as its speaker, admonishing her that she would look foolish attempting to admire fairy art. Another day, she thinks to herself. After all, if she is going to be in the spring court for the rest of her foreseeable life, she's going to have many, many days with which to look at art. A cool breeze alerts Feyre to his presence. Feel my air quotes, audio listeners. I have to say, to be so notorious that you are just known by your pronouns is gold. Like, this is some, like, prince level stuff right here. Taban has returned from his now daily hunt for the bog and is in his beast form. As he prowls towards Feyre. Sorry, I'm going to say that again.
Isn't it Bogey?
Is it Bogey?
Bogge.
Is it Bogey? How did you
I
say it?
always
Could be
say
because
Bogey.
Bogey, but
But
it could be Bog.
I think
Maybe the G and E are silent.
these friggin' fantasy, and especially for book readers.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't I say Bogey?
I mean, but Bogey sounds funny. Bog sounds.
Terrifying, right?
Yeah.
It does sound scarier.
I don't know where to go
Me
from there. I'm going to stick with Bog because otherwise I'm going to inconsistently say it.
Say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
People are going to get mad at me later. As he prowls towards her, Feyre notices he's limping and appears to be bleeding. Pause. Can I just say that whenever the author describes a man as prowling, the thrill that I get, like, borders on illegal. Like, that is my... But also, can I see a man prowl? I'm going to instruct Andrew when I get home. I'm going to be like, can you prowl?
Will they be on a horse?
I'm like,
I don't understand.
oh. Are we trying to assess something with the dog's gait? This is shape of limp. What's going on here? He changes his form with a bright flash that forces Feyre to close her eyes. It's interesting to me that this description of how Tamlin shifts forms is identical to how shifting is described in Throne of Glass, namely that it's accompanied with this super bright flash of light. I feel like this supports my theory that shifting in the ACOTAR universe is tied to how shifting is done in Throne of Glass, and therefore I feel like it is going to play a bigger role in the story in the future, given that in Throne of Glass, Lysandra being a shifter is like a huge deal. Like, they hunt down all the shifters because it's so dangerous, versus in this world, we gotta... It's fine, it's fine. All of our listeners are like, red alert! She said fine, things are not okay. I feel like it's going to play a bigger role in the story in the future, given what a big deal is made of it in Throne of Glass. Like, Lysandra and all of the shifters are hunted down because it's, and it really is, if you think about it, you just be like, boom, I'm you now. Like, versus in this universe so far, it's kind of like, not that big a deal, but really, only Tamlin and then Feyre can shift. Right?
Feyre, though, I think is the only one that can shift into multiple things. Tamlin can only shift into the furry Kool-Aid Man.
Is that true? Because he can shift others. That's why Andros could shift into a wolf, which I also think is...
Right, but he can only shift himself into one thing.
But he can shift other people into whatever he wants? SJN?
Question mark?
Okay. I have a theory that's going to come back. We'll see. Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay, but there is a theory. So when you bring up Tamlin and you
Yes.
bring up Lysandra.
Yes.
Okay, so Aedion in Throne of Glass.
Sure.
Eden
Was how I said it, but I know there's an I in there.
Okay. Either way, he has blonde hair.
Yes.
He hooks up with Lysandra.
Yes.
Oh, Tamlin is their baby.
And the shape-shifting!
If you go down a Reddit rabbit hole.
But how did he
There
end up
is
in
this
the other
theory.
universe?
Exactly.
I'm reeling.
It's a fan theory. Look it up on Reddit.
I need a stiff drink.
Yeah.
That is blowing my mind. So then who were his parents? And his dad is so mean to him in the ACOTAR universe.
Which doesn't really track with.
Exactly, so that's not his real dad.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, no, Aedion could be his real dad, and then whoever the fuck he is in ACOTAR.
Oh, yeah. He
Fake
got left
daddy.
off there.
Yes, fake dad.
And that's why he was mean.
Yes.
I like it.
Sold.
I'm in.
As Feyre notices his tattered clothing, she asks us if he was successful in killing the Booker. He gives a cold, distant affirmative, and Feyre comments that he's hurt. Tamlin is nonplussed by his injury and instead asks Feyre what she's clutching. Every time Tamlin sidesteps one of her questions in this story, in my head
Is every other thing.
yes, all I hear is pivot, like
Friends.
constantly. Credit to her bravery, Feyre doesn't attempt to lie, saying, quote, I thought I should learn my surroundings. Tamlin must have noticed that the map is devoid of words because he questions, well, more like comments, that she can't read, can't she? He follows the remark with, quote, ignorant, insignificant human, no wonder you became so adept at other things. This comment makes my blood boil. Like literally, the shame that Feyre feels at not being able to read is profound. She's in an incredibly vulnerable position as, like, let's be generous and call her an indentured guest of Tamlin's. In a world where she knows no one knows nothing about the culture, she's at the bottom of a very large pyramid in terms of power, sway, knowledge, and he's completely exploiting that. Like,
It's horrible.
it is horrible. Feyre,
Dick move,
however,
Tamlin.
yeah.
Dick move.
She breezes past his cruelty, focusing instead on his injured hand once more. They make their way to the infirmary. Once there, Feyre takes charge, and throughout the scene, there's a noticeable power and dynamic shift where Feyre leads and Tamlin follows. She cleans and binds his wound, and he sits there, silent and acquiescent, just like we like our men, staring at her as she goes about her work. As Feyre finishes and prepares to leave the room, she is stopped by a question from Tamlin. How did she learn to hunt when she didn't even have the opportunity to learn to write? Feyre responds with, quote, "That's what happens when you're responsible for lives other than your own, isn't it? You do what you have to do." This quote really illustrates a core difference between Feyre and Tamlin. While they both have a deep sense of responsibility for others, and they have also been both, to some degree, unwittingly saddled with being responsible for others, Feyre for her family and Tamlin for the court that he was never supposed to rule, the way that they go about doing what they have to do, quote, is very, very different.
Tamlin does nothing.
Yes, until
Oh, it's the last year. We probably should do something.
I guess I need to get going here. No, Feyre's ethical code is all inclusive. Yes, she knows she has a responsibility to take care of her family, but there's a deeper sense of moral responsibility to all the lives that she encounters. This is why her unwitting murder of Andres haunts her, and why later Claire's death and the death of those other fairies in the third trial is so traumatizing for her. If we contrast this with Tamlin, we see that Tamlin, yes, also has a great sense of responsibility, but his is tiered. There's a hierarchy. His family and his close friends, and then later Feyre, come first. His court comes next. Everyone else is at the very, very bottom. And that hierarchy means that he's willing to let a certain degree of suffering take place for those that are lower in this pyramid, if it means that those who are higher are safe and cared for. He can tolerate members of his court being poor and starving and still having to pay the tithe.
I was going to say the tithe.
Literally, but he can't tolerate Feyre being in danger, or at least even perceived danger. Again, I can see how they have these core values that are so close, and yet at their heart, they're very different in the shading of them. And ultimately, I feel like this is what makes them act like oil and water.
Yes.
It's interesting. At a first blush, and SJM is a master at this, you're like, oh, they're so well matched.
Yeah.
But then as you kind of scrape away at it, you're like, their motivations are very different. How it first shows up, similarities, but their motivations are very different. Anyway, okay.
I like that.
The next day, as Feyre makes her way down from her room, she overhears Tamlin and Lucien having a heated conversation. Not in the way we're hoping. Feyre, sneaky little thing, tucks herself behind the outside door and listens in. I cannot blame her. I would absolutely do the same.
Does she think she's actually hiding from them?
Okay, so I was gonna bring this up later, but yes, they're supposed to have this face sense of hearing that is so all-knowing.
And smell.
Right? But they act like when she bursts in, they're like, oh, Feyre!
Ew.
And then knowing what they talk about in the comments, the hard stone, they knew she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Most of the conversation makes no sense to Feyre. Lucien is roughly admonishing Tamlin, quote, "There isn't much time, and you're just sulking and glowering. You're not even..."
God bless Lucien.
Right? You're not even trying to fake it anymore. Tamlin's response is furious. He snarls back that it's a mistake, and that whatever it is he's supposed to do, he can no longer stomach it. Lucien bites out a response, quote, "For someone with a heart of stone, yours is certainly soft these days." Yes, they totally knew. Yeah. Feyre's finger then slips against the door, and they whirl. Oh my gosh, you're here. Undeniably caught. Feyre steps forward, asking if Lucien is going for a ride. But Lucien tells her Tamlin will join her instead. Feyre said,
Thank you.
yeah, she's not exactly stoked. Feyre tells Tamlin she doesn't want to hunt. In fact, she hates hunting. So instead, they make their way to the study. As Feyre and Tamlin walk through the sprawling estate, Feyre inquires about the state of Tamlin's injured hand. He tells her that the bog's bite was designed to slow down the healing of high fae long enough so that the bog can kill them. He's impressed with Feyre's binding job of the injury, and she revealed that she had to learn how to dress wounds well and in a way that would still allow her to pull a bow. The ensuing conversation reveals a little more of Fae history, and Tamlin gets a look into how desperate and hard times were in the village, and particularly for Feyre as the sole caretaker for her entire family. At one point, he asks her if anyone has ever taken care of her, and she gives an unemotional no. This chat takes a turn when Tamlin casually asks her if she's ever going to use that knife that she stole. Again, my head is screaming, pivot. Feyre is disgruntled to learn that she's been caught, but interestingly, the feeling stops there and doesn't venture into actual fear. This is a notable shift again in their dynamic. Even just a few days earlier, I would argue that being caught like that would have had Feyre terrified.
I mean, to be fair, wasn't it like a butter knife?
Like
One backwards, sir.
Sarah!
Just claws, just like, no.
He's like, are we buttering toast? What's happening?
Breakfast?
Chapter 13. They arrive at the study and Tamlin waves his hands, illuminating candles throughout the room. This is another example of Tam-Can. The Blight is supposed to have drained magic throughout the land, yet here's Tam-Bam with his magic fingers, pun intended. The room is filled with books, plush carpets, and deeply cushioned chairs and sofas. Oh my god, it does sound heavenly.
Does this, and I know this book like has received a lot of that, but this is so Beauty and the Beast to me right now.
Yes.
Like when he takes her into the library, Belle, and he's like, what?
Right.
She's like, oh my God.
Yeah, except for Fairy's like, wow, what do they say?
Yeah. Do you have an audio book?
Was there a podcast I can listen to?
Feyre is faced with a dilemma. While Tamlin has let her know that her family has been taken care of, and that for all intents and purposes, her deathbed vow to her mother has been fulfilled, she feels compelled to let them know that she too is safe and well. Unfortunately, the only conceivable way of doing this is to write a letter. Feyre's mother had chosen not to hire a governess while she was alive, and after she passed and they lost their fortune, Feyre's sisters wouldn't let her attend the local school, deeming it beneath them. Thus, Feyre's illiteracy.
But like also, could they not help her learn to read?
Good point.
Like,
They're like, you can't go to school. Also, I'm busy.
Yeah. Doing what?
Doing nothing.
Planting flowers in my garden.
Instead of carrots.
Yeah.
Elaine.
Plants and potatoes.
Elaine strikes again.
Oh, it strikes again.
She's the worst. She's the eldest, right? No.
No,
Nesta.
Nesta, yeah. So Feyre is stuck. Either teach yourself to read and write and craft the letter herself, which undoubtedly will take weeks, possibly months, or ask for help.
Nah.
Nah, I wonder what she's going to try. Self-representation it is. Feyre spends the ensuing hours with books, paper, and ink, painfully sounding out words one at a time, copying them with trembling lines on sheet after sheet. As she takes a break one day, she notices a mural adorning one of the study's majestic walls. She examines it and realizes it's telling a story, the story of Prithian. All right, strap in, folks. It's lore time. A cauldron is depicted being tipped by slender female hands, golden symbols dumped into a void, then forming a world, their world, beneath. The following panel of the mural depicts a bloody, muddy battlefield, humans facing inevitable slaughter at the hands of the encroaching Fae. The ensuing smear of black and red in the story tells the end of the battle, not that it really even needed telling. What chance, thanks Feyre, could humans ever have against the might and magic of the Fae? Next, a reduced map is shown, with the northern section cut into detailed sections and the southern section left empty, the lands the Fae had lost in the battle. Feyre notices that the majority of the lost land comes from the spring course, divided by a black line indicating the wall. Feyre's eyes examine the northern hemisphere, noting the courts: summer, autumn, winter, day, dawn, and the massive mountain-filled land of the night court. When you read this section, did you, or at any part in the series, did you clock that we're missing a solar court?
Which one are we missing? Dusk?
Dusk.
Right. No. But after, when my Instagram was filled with like
was like,
nothing but like, like theories floating about.
How did we not clock that? We're just like, blah, 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 blah. Yep, that's right. Check. Good. Okay, continuing on. Yeah, I did it. And then when I was like, the dusk court. Allie, did you clock that?
No.
Right?
No.
I
Never even thought
know.
about
They're
it.
missing a court.
Never even thought about it.
Yeah, there's one that's missing. Where would it be? Because not only is there no High Lord or High Lady, at least that we're aware of, but
Maybe
like,
like the middle,
oh yes, that's right. That is
where
a
like
theory. But doesn't that technically fall under the Night Court?
the middle, I thought it was like no man's land.
Is it?
Because that's where like those scary lake monsters live, and like the Weaver, and
I thought they technically still were part of the Night Court. No.
I thought
I don't think so.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, maybe that's the Dusk Court.
Jamie's face. You see it together. But also, there's like Court of Nightmares,
Yeah, there's
Court
a
of
court.
Dreams.
But those are like
That's Dolores, isn't Dolores?
the court. Well, the court of
I thought-
dreams is like the
Valeris.
inner circle.
Oh, you say Valaris.
It is Dolores.
I say Valaris.
This whole episode is just us being like, you don't say it like that. I say it like that.
Valaris, yeah.
The bog, the bogey, the booger, the boogie.
Aiden? I said Aiden.
I thought Valaris is just the night court, but it's also the court of dreams.
So I
I
believe
thought
that,
it was the Court of Dreams because of Starfall and like all of those things.
but your cord is. I mean, now we're getting into like royal, like.
Further research is needed.
Okay, continuing on.
We'll come back to you on that next episode.
Before returning to her work, Feyre notes two final markers on the maps: an isolated fairy kingdom to the west, where it appears that they had not had to concede any lands, and a small, snowy mountain range where the cauldron looks to have been initially dumped. Back at her books, Feyre is suddenly jarred from her concentration when Tamlin walks in. He offers to help, saying he owes her for her assistance with his hand, and, surprise, surprise, Feyre declines with a cool, "I'm fine."
And women around the world shake their head knowingly.
Tam Bam doesn't take this well. He jabs, jealous that she'll let Lucian take him on hunts, but won't accept his help. Feyre spars back, telling him that Lucian doesn't pretend to be anything other than what he is. An interesting take to hurl at a shapeshifter. My shape-shifting theory continues. Just as the argument begins to heat up, Feyre leaves. As a seasoned therapy attender, I can attest that anger is a secondary feeling. And I think our heroine recognizes that if she were to really get into it with Tamlin, that anger might begin to peel back, revealing the fear and hurt and shame and vulnerability that she's been grappling with since coming to the Spring Court and like really for most of her life. I know. Feyre seeks out Lucian in his bedroom.
Oh my.
We wish. As she approaches,
Yeah.
I think all this time I wish that she got with Lucian instead of Tamlin.
oh, we talked about this in previous episodes.
There is nothing like sexy about Tamlin to me.
But Lucian as the fox,
So hot.
but he gets watered down
Yes.
in the remaining book. Okay, you cannot talk, Mrs. Only
Well,
but the first
okay.
two. Yeah.
You don't even care about him in the second one.
Okay, he gets further watered down, and it's really like heartbreaking. But my hope is that with this like love triangle potentially, I'm like trying to think if you know of the love triangle, Allie. Folks love each other, and we're moving on. As she approaches his door, he calls out to her to enter, and she notices his room appears to be decorated in colors of the autumn court, rich golds and browns, as opposed to the dainty colors of her room.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Also, a nice touch from Tamlin. I mean, I doubt he painted
Did he
it himself.
Lucian's probably just like
Yeah.
Tamlin.
Lucian lets Feyre know that he overheard her spat with Tamlin. Tamlin, she learns.
Okay. So he heard her fighting with Tamlin, but they don't hear her by the door as they're having their conversation.
She's probably like, yeah.
Yeah. They can smell arousal, but not Feyre.
Right.
Yes.
Shocking. Tamlin, she learns, is dealing with the disturbance he defines as, quote, the usual sort. Unwanted, nasty creatures raising hell. Feyre carefully, cautiously begins to lay her trap, telling Lucian she's surprised he has revealed this much to her. If only he was like the Surreal and would let her know everything she is curious about. Instantly, Lucian appears to be on guard, his eyes narrowing, gaze sharpening.
The fox.
Feyre plows on. How on earth could anyone catch a Surreal? She wonders aloud. Girl, subtlety is not your strong suit here.
Oh,
What give you
no, not a dude.
blink, blink. Regardless, the game is on and Lucian is ready to play. Casually, he tells her that the Surreals are keen on freshly slaughtered chickens and might be so caught up in their greed that they would miss a double-looped snare. He also lets on that anyone who maybe, possibly, perchance was insane enough to try and catch a Surreal should also bring a bow and quiver and a knife. And he passes her his own blade. It's an interesting moment between them.
Yeah. Like, I'm a bit shocked she trusted him with this whole, like, double snare chicken theory. Like, she's like, first,
I'm gonna chicken and
first you need a feather, a hair off of a person you've never met.
round the toad hole.
Yes,
Here we go.
At the stroke of midnight.
Right,
Yeah.
especially because she comes from the mortal land, so it's
Yeah.
not like she's this magic shit is
No.
stuff that she's like, yeah, that sounds
Trust.
right. Yeah, no, she's like, all right, I'll go get a chicken, I guess. The cat and the mouse part ways with a final veiled warning of secrecy from Lucian as he indicates Tamlin would, quote, eviscerate anyone who plans to trap a Surreal.
Yeah, he would.
Right?
But also, why? Why does he hate them? It's his vendetta against the Surreal.
I think
He's like
trapping it.
scared that he'll
Someone will tell them the truth
Yeah.
and spoil the
Like-
thing.
Google. It knows.
Fairy Google. I love Fairy Google. Chapter 14. Threat of mortal danger. Deadly mysterious creature. Explicit warnings of potential demise. Sounds like a great Tuesday for our girl.
Honestly, same.
Yeah. Shocking absolutely no one. Chapter 14 sees Feyre making her way to the woods to try and capture the elusive Surreal. As she walks through the trees, Feyre notes that Tamlin's lands are almost as abandoned as his sprawling estate. Keyword here being almost. As she walks, it's almost like her eyes are playing tricks on her. Faces flit in and out of the corner of her eye before turning into seemingly innocent sunbeams. The woods here are dense and old, with no discernible path for her to follow as she looks for an ideal spot to capture her prey. Soon enough, she finds a clearing encircled with birches, lays her snare, climbs a nearby tree, and waits. As the afternoon sun breaks down on our huntress, she wonders if Lucian and Tamlin ever tire of endless spring. She thinks to herself that while she was charged with watching and caring for her family, a never-ending spring would have felt like an indescribable blessing. But now, as she stares down the barrel of the next few ensuing decades of peace and quiet, she can't help but think that she wouldn't mind a little variation.
I feel like this is a bit of like a grass is greener on the other side. But I mean, also, like, she's been safe for a week now, so why not mix it up? I mean, like, yeah.
I think she has a stress addiction.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. She's like, I'm relaxed. Something's awry.
the other shoe is about to drop.
Yeah.
A sudden shift in the woods has Feyre stringing her bow. In just a few moments, the snap of her trap and a piercing shriek tell her she's been successful, and she climbs out of the tree. The Surreal is described as, quote, a face that looked like it had been crafted from dry, weather-worn bone, its skin forgotten, a lipless mouth, two long teeth held by blackened gums, slotted holes for nostrils, and eyes that were nothing more than swirling pits of milky white. Fighting her fear, and probably the urge to throw up, Feyre asks if it's one of the Surreal. Human, it ponders, and at its voice, Feyre's bowels turn watery. Not for the last time. Girlfriend, take some Imodium. Yeesh. It affirms that it is indeed a Surreal and asks her to come closer. For once, Feyre chooses safety and doesn't move an inch. Feyre asks the question that has been pounding at her heart all these days. Is there any way for her to go home? The Surreal answers that the only way to do so is as a corpse. Feyre's second question, moving on, brings another round of earth-shattering news. She asks the Surreal what he knows of Tamlin, and he responds with, quote, "Be more specific, for I know a good many things about the High Lord of the Spring Court." Feyre's shock is almost immeasurable. This is the reason for Tam Cam. Tamlin is not just another High Fae, not simply a wealthy noble. He is one of Prithian's 7 High Lords. Grappling with this new information, Feyre's desperation for answers grows. What could be done about the blight? The Surreal skirts her question, pivot, instead, advising her cryptically, quote, "Stay with the High Lord, human. You will be safe."
But like this one?
But, which High Lord?
Are we sure?
And all of the fandom, all of TikTok is blessed with a new audio. Feyre persists. Where'd the blank come from? The answer she receives this time comes in the form of a short history lesson, and while typically this would be nap fodder for me, for once I am a star pupil. Across the sea, a king named Hybrid rules. Humans don't exist there. The Surreal tells Feyre, God, my tongue is like... Blah, 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 blah.
Well, to be fair, it's like she receives something. It's tricky. And the Surreal.
All right,
Lots of asses.
Yeah, lots of... And my lateral lisp. Thanks for naming me Jessica, Mom and Dad. A lateral lisp.
When you told me that about when you were taking that speech class,
Yes.
and your teacher called you out on that, and I was like, I didn't even notice that you...
Well, see, but okay, then after, do you notice it more? No. Yes, you paused, you hesitated.
Only if I'm like when we talk, I don't think like, yes, you have a lisp. But like now that we're talking about it,
You notice that?
yeah.
Yeah, because
But only for certain words.
I'm Jean Chrétien over here.
God. Okay.
American listeners
Americans are like,
Google,
"Ooh, Jean Bonneau."
Google ask the Surreal. Across the sea, a king named Hybrid rules. Humans don't exist there, though the Surreal tells Feyre that his throne is made of their bones. And she thinks back to the isolated island on the map that hadn't had to concede any lands. The Surreal reveals that the king of Hybrid resents the treaty that forced him to release his human slaves and stay on his island. As a result, years ago, he dispatched remnants of his army as spies and courtiers and lovers to infiltrate Prithian. One of these he calls the Deceiver. And just as he's on the brink of revealing more, the Surreal pauses and says, "We are not alone." Feyre's ears strain to detect whatever has joined them, but hears nothing. The Surreal begs her to free him and run, and Feyre lunges for the snare, just as 4 shadows enter the clearing.
Chapter 15. As you mentioned, the Surreal is just casually dropping major foreshadowing hints. The blight, the curse, Tamlin's identity, all wrapped up in ominous little riddles, as he does. And then, boom, Feyre frees the Surreal to avoid its wrath and ensure it lives to answer more of her burning questions, eventually, and immediately finds herself surrounded by the Four Shadows, or Naga. The entire tone shifts from eerie lore dump to bloodbath in about 5 seconds. She's armed, but barely, and our girl is a human up against ancient predators.
At least she's doing better than a butter knife.
That's true. She got the dagger.
She's leveled up.
Okay. Proving she's resourceful and not entirely helpless, Feyre manages to wound one with a knife to the throat. But let's be honest, the fight is stacked against her.
Okay, can we pause on the detail of the Naga black blood running into her mouth when she stabs it? Like,
It's disgusting.
I'm sorry, immediate therapy, and also tempted to drink bleach.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Also, the black blood is a thing with Sarah J. Maas.
yes, it is.
All villains have black blood. Like, I don't want to say in Throne of Glass, but like the Valge.
No,
black
you did
blood.
not say Valge.
I mean, maybe sometimes.
You did.
Valg? Bog? Bog?
I said Valg. I definitely didn't say Valge.
Listen.
I thought Booger was. Wait, now someone's gonna be like, actually, that is how it said in the audiobook. So, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Thank you. Okay. This sequence is so much more than gore. It's about Feyre stepping into a world of predators where her human instincts both fail her and save her. She's scrappy enough to stab the Naga, but also seconds from death until Tamlin storms in. Which is like, fine. This whole scene is Feyre's baptism by blood. She's no longer just an accidental Fey killer. She's now tangled in the dangerous, cursed ecosystem of Prithian. The Surreal's truths tie her fate to Tamlin. Quote, stay with the High Lord. Or so we think. The Naga fight forces her to see Tamlin's dual nature, knight in shining armor and beast in the woods.
You're totally right. It like, yeah, we're seeing the duality there.
Yeah. Giving us our first peek at Feyre trying to reconcile both sides in her brain. I don't know. I always feel like, yeah, she's kind of bitchy, but she's, I don't know. Her girl is like conflicted.
About Tamlin? Or you
Yeah.
mean-
Like this is where, and like even when she's helping his hand a little bit, I'm like, there's something.
Yeah.
And that's when you kind of first start to be like, oh, this is enemy still on.
Right. Yeah. So you get that first little hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the fight, Tamlin's first priority is surprisingly Feyre. He scolds her for leaving, tracks, but the concern underneath his anger is clear. He also heals himself with a casual display of Fey magic, brushing off wounds that would kill a human. So this is interesting, going back to like when he needs his hand mended. And I know he said that the bog's bite is like meant to like subdue their ability to heal.
So that then it can kill them.
But like not the Naga. The Naga seem way scarier than the bog.
Yes, but maybe that's because we haven't had to face the bog. Like, because it doesn't become real until you
Right.
acknowledge it. So maybe once the bog is acknowledged, then it's like way more horrifying.
All right.
Yeah. But like, good point. Good point.
The imagery here matters. Feyre is still breakable, fragile, mortal, while Tamlin's power seems limitless. That imbalance is both romantic, big strong hero trope here, and unsettling. How could she ever hold her own in this world?
Yeah.
Also, let's note that Tamban's cup muscles make an appearance here, and Feyre is not upset about it.
Is it cup muscle?
Cut.
Oh, and I said cup
Did
muscle.
I say cut? I think you said cut.
I was like, I was thinking, like, are these the thigh muscles around a
He just cut. He's just sweatshirt. No cups here.
I was like, is he wearing a cup? That would make sense to fight all these monsters. He has to wear a cup.
Also, maybe
It's
distraction.
never listed when they're getting hot and heavy. And then she removed his cup.
Ew. Disgusting. Yeah. As we mentioned last episode, it's not often we see our heroine soften. And here she not only thanks Tamlin, but also is in a bit of awe that he feels like she's worth saving, which is tragic.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out that this was the first time she softens for him and
Right.
saw this moment as the spark that lit the kindling in Feyre's heart. Is it still too soon?
No, I think you're right. Especially with the commentary, I'm really starting to notice like that the boy is fine.
His cup muscle.
His cup muscle. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this might be like the beginning because there is not just attraction, but like you said, softening with him. Whereas before it was mostly just all walls.
Yeah. And even when she's helping his hand, it's like just going through the motions. She's like, I know how to do this. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Let us not forget we get our first mention of supervillain, the Dark Mother.
Ba, ba, ba.
Foreshadowing someone we have yet to meet. Not that we really want to. That bitch is ancient, divine, and terrifying.
Wait, is she called the Dark Mother?
I think that's what they're referring in this sequence. The Naga, because the Dark Mother sent them.
Oh, she's the mother of them. I'm like, who did she mother? Who is her baby?
No.
She's
The
their
Naga.
mother. She's their
The Dark
okay.
Mother.
I was like, all of a sudden, all the theories in my head started spinning out. I was like, who's her baby? Who's her baby?
And let's say,
Possibly.
is every like theory around Tamlin being someone's mate, baby, father? Okay. Could this be the she Lucian references in previous chapters?
Yeah.
Feyre's still trying to piece it all together, though.
You'll get there, girl.
She does not know. Last thought for this chapter. What do you make of the quote, his deep, unending sort of shame and defeat? This is as he's walking away, like after they've fought the Naga, and that he walks away, and that's what she uses to describe him. So, like, is this to do with his inaction up until this point, letting his court go to shit, or for taking Feyre altogether?
I'll take all of the above for 500.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I definitely think so. I think that Tamlin is haunted by decisions that he has made, active and inactive, up until this point.
It's like he makes a decision, decides it's bad, but then does like nothing to fix it.
Just like doubles down.
Yeah,
And like, well, I'm here.
We've come this far.
Yeah. He's the king of, what's it called? Justification of effort.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I think you're right.
Chapter 16. This chapter is deceptively soft, but beneath the surface it's doing a lot of heavy lifting. We are back at the manor and in full girl sleepover mode. Yay! Alice is brushing Feyre's hair. She's sipping on the most decadent hot cocoa I've ever heard of. And the gossip session is just beginning.
This sounds divine. I want an invite.
Yeah, exactly. Room for one more? Feyre is still carrying that restless, hunted energy, but Alice, our fairy godmother of sorts, offers her a little grounding, guidance, and emotional safety. Feyre presses for information about Prythian, the Blight, but Alice only gives her fragments layered in caution and riddles. Again, the riddles. Like, someone just tell this girl what's going on. Still, the warmth is there. It's subtle, but Feyre sees Alice as someone who actually cares whether she survives. And honestly, for a girl who's had to do everything alone, that hint of support feels huge.
Like, indescribable.
Yeah. Alice also gives a bit of a download about her family, Fae, and fairy children, and on how she can lure the surreal. Because, as I mentioned earlier, Lucian, like, yeah, that might be a way, but Alice is like, girl, you're an idiot. Just bring in a cloak.
Bring a cloak. She's like, you got to get some chickens. There's going to be these birch trees. You're going to lay a double lip snare. Feyre's like, okay, we're going to write this down.
Alice is like, please, bring a cloak. Yeah. Duh. Later at dinner, Feyre tries to sound like she knows what she's talking about when it comes to fairies, spouting off the mortal realm's myths and warnings. And Tamlin and Lucian basically tear her folklore apart like mean girls. Ash trees, cute. Fairies can't lie, please. And when Feyre casually drops that she caught the cereal, both of them look at her like she just out-wrestled a dragon. Cue our Ellenwoods moment. What, like it's hard? For me, this is the chapter where Tamlin's mask slips in a way that makes us actually maybe like him? Question mark? Instead of just being a broody predator or like violent protector, he starts to show genuine care.
And personality. Like, again, he's not just, like, to Lucian's point, he's not just glowering and sulking.
Snarling.
Right?
Prowling.
Yeah. Like, there's a little bit of, like, oh, like, there's some dynamism there.
Yeah, agreed. He admits to glamoring Feyre's family so they believe she's safe and provided for, which softens that constant knot of worry in her chest. For the first time since page 1, Feyre isn't concerned or consumed by anxiety about her father and sisters. That's not just a plot point, it's character liberation. Going one step further, Tam Bam tells Feyre she's worthy of her family's admiration and love, and that, it's different. Because Feyre has lived her entire life, as we've talked about, believing she's basically worthless and only valuable for like what she can provide for her family, she doesn't really know how to accept a compliment, first of all. But also, for the first time, she starts feeling worthy, like just because she exists.
Right.
That's the kind of affirmation that starts to stitch up years of invisible wounds.
Yeah. And I think, to your point earlier, we're leading more and more into laying the groundwork for why does she fall for him? Like, this must have been,
Why?
right? Like, this must have been, like, to your point, revolutionary for her. Yeah.
Like he's laying the groundwork. I say soft quite a bit in this chapter because it's something that never happened. Like, I feel like this is the first chapter that there's even softening between them. Feyre a little bit with Alice the first time,
Yeah.
but like it's kind of she's allowed to just be, and I think it's a bit beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
And with that, something incredible happens. At At the end of the chapter, our artist's soul starts to wake up. Feyre's urge to paint, to create, to see beauty again resurfaces right here. She finally is giving herself permission to live again. So between Alice's TLC, Tamlin's unexpected tenderness, and Feyre's creative spark reigniting, this is the turning point where survival shifts out.
I love that.
Chapter 17. This chapter starts with Feyre drifting into a dream sequence, and it's not exactly restful. She's visited by a shadowy, terrifying presence that references our old friend, the Dark Mother. And then there's that chilling detail, blood-red nails reaching toward her. Are these just the nightmare's claws, or are we supposed to read this as foreshadowing the mark of someone or something who wants her bad?
Also, the use of the color red, and this is like, you'll see this in the fan theories, specifically in ACOTAR. I'm not going to say for the rest of the Maasverse, but ACOTAR red is like, no, bad things are not good. So, like the blood red nails, Amarantha's hair being red, the red petals on going down the aisle. But then, who is always described as wearing a certain signature scarlet hue?
Isn't it? More. Also, this entire book is red, so
We should have known
take that with
from the beginning.
Exactly. Like,
We stare at book one with daggers in our eyes.
And the biggest question is, why does this presence want her name? In folklore, names equal power, and in SJM land, that's basically neon flashing foreshadowing. Feyre's instinct to jolt awake before giving it away is survival 101. But the fact that she was so close feels like a cosmic warning. Someone or something is watching her. And when she wakes up, she's in the middle of a horrific scene. A fairy from the summer court has been caught, mutilated, his wings brutally ripped from his back. The violence is so visceral, it jolts both Feyre and the reader into understanding this is what the blight means. A nightmare, and Perithian is becoming a waking horror. She can't escape the darkness closing in. But here's the twist. Feyre has never shied away from a challenge or bleak circumstances, and in this moment she offers the only thing she can, her presence, her hands, her humanity. Tamlin joins her, calming the fairy's pain, holding him steady until he passes. It's one of the first moments where Feyre and Tamlin act together as partners.
Yes.
Symbolically, it's huge. Feyre's no longer just the outsider. She's inside, touched by it and helping shoulder the weight. It's her first true act of compassion towards them. She's crossing an invisible line, letting herself be tethered to their suffering.
So good. And I never caught that before, but yes, their first act where they are working in concert.
And they're on the same level because neither of them can heal this
The
day.
power dynamic is gone.
It's equal.
So good, Jay. I try.
Lucian doesn't quite manage that same gravitas and is so shaken he literally pukes in a plant, which, okay, we can't blame him.
Yeah.
Wings being torn off is nightmare fuel. Still, imagine being the sarcastic sidekick one second and the guy hunched in the bushes the next.
Not very foxy of him.
Also, just saying the way RHYSAND describes the sensitiveness of the wings, them being ripped off, it would be like your balls getting ripped off.
Like
I imagine.
horrifying, yes. That all they have to do is like trail it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, think about also in the manor, the wings. There were like RHYSAND's mom and sister's wings in the manor. Yeah. And Asriel gets his wings shredded at one point. And Cassian takes like 2 arrows through his wings and lesbians.
She,
Or sadist.
I'm going to say both. I am not.
God, SJM. Well, she has SNM. You're welcome.
Rihanna.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but in Crescent City, there's also wing damage that happens. And it's, horrible.
It's not just wing kink, wing torture as well. I don't like it. This chapter closes with Feyre watching Tamlin, like really watching him. She sees not just the beast, not just the High Lord, but a male bearing impossible responsibility, offering comfort even in the face of horror.
Farah's looking at a mirror here. Like, she's been here before.
Yeah, definitely. It's quiet, intimate, and a little bit heartbreaking. For the first time, Farah doesn't just notice his power, she notices his compassion and feels that weight, his sadness, and it changes something in her. And that, my babes, is the seed of attraction beginning to take root.
Getting a plot to carry the verse. Well, that did go well.
So well.
Oh, Okay.
You think it went well?
I think it went really well.
We've come to that time in the episode where it's hot takes, theories, and thirsts. Okay, babes, let's break down the chaos. Naga nightmares, surreal secrets, wingless tragedy, and Tamlin almost being likable. What timeline is this?
Yes. Okay, let's talk Tamlin. I'm gonna get comfy here because here's my hot take. Binding Farah in her seat at dinner, red flag. Glamoring her family so they stop being her emotional leash, maybe a green flag. Comforting a mutilated fairy with quiet dignity, green flag plus glitter. Basically, this man is walking around. He's like a whole flag store, and we don't know which color to pick.
No, definitely not. Tamlin telling her she's worthy of her family's love. Is this sweet, swoony, manipulative, or a little of all three? Would you have melted or sided in murder?
Melted. I'm weak.
Like, I would have sided.
Sus.
I had his card from the beginning.
You
I
did?
never liked him.
You did.
I was not lured into the
Throughout
Tamlin
book one,
trap.
I was like, how are we feeling about Tamlin? And Jamie's like, it's okay, let's talk about RHYSAND.
Can you lick her tears again?
Farah might still be, quote, a fragile human girl compared to the Fae, but she is scrappy as fuck.
Yes.
Catching the surreal, surviving the nagging attack long enough for Tamlin to show up, helping soothe the dying fairy when most mortals would have run. Okay, not just mortals, Fae would have run screaming. It's giving high lady energy.
Theories time. The surreal dropping the Dark Mother reference. That's not just spooky flavor text. That's SJM sneaking in world building breadcrumbs that will explode later.
Explosive breadcrumbs. I love it. I won't work in my 5e.
Andy? Well, it is almost spooky season.
Da-da.
And the Naga mentioning her was the first time the monster behind the curtain really peeked out. And the chessboard is so much larger than Feyre realizes.
Yeah, definitely.
Side note, I love a good supervillain. A la Cersei. Game of Thrones. I cannot wait for her to make her grand entrance.
Plus, can we clock the symbolism of Feyre suddenly regaining her desire to paint after Tamlin tells her that she's worthy of love? That isn't just like romantic fluff. That is foreshadowing her entire arc. Her art is her soul, and the men around her are either going to cage it, enable it, or set it free.
Which one? Does it sound like she's outsourcing her self-worth to a man, though?
Ooh, I mean, like, girl, been there. I'm pretty. They said it. I'm pretty. Yeah, I am pretty. 100%. That's a good clock. And I think, again, if we think about her arc, that is where she's living right now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, favorite part, thirsts. Feyre stabbing a Naga in the neck and getting blood in her mouth? Gross. Also kind of hot.
Stop. Jamie, you're joking.
Oh. That survival kink is a real thing.
Is it?
Yes.
Details. What is survival kink?
It's like, okay, imagine like Alone, the TV show, but like sexy and like.
How sexy? Like, what do you mean? You're starving and people are like, yeah, I love to starve. Like, what do you mean? Or like you're having sex in the wild and that's what makes it hot is you're in nature?
It's not having sex in the wild.
Okay, what?
It's maybe a bit like, you know, you're alone and you have to survive on your own, but then there's like someone watching you and you're like helpless and they like.
Are they helping or are they being a predator?
I think both could be. I didn't go too far down the rabbit hole on this. That's like dark web shit. But it's a thing.
I'm shocked. I've never heard this.
I'm not on that
survival.
TikTok stream yet.
Your phone is like, you're noted. updating algorithm. Should be scrolling down to like,
What is this?
R.I.P. your feed.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay. Tamlin tearing apart 4 monsters like it's cardio, problematic? That's Swoony?
okay, aligned, yes.
Okay. And then there's that last image in chapter 17. Feyre watching Tamlin with something like admiration while he comforts the dying Fae. Babe, this is the moment. We almost like him. Against our better judgment, but, you know.
The emphasis on almost, because
The book is young. We didn't know.
we were young.
We were ignorant.
I mean, nothing says romance like predator stares, family glamours, and a man who can both rip monsters apart and murmur comfort to the broken.
It's true. I mean, you're not wrong.
No.
Yeah. Duality. Question is, are we starting to trust Tamlin here, or are we just letting the broody beast aesthetic cloud our judgment? And big picture, is SJM just softening him up to make what's coming hurt even more?
Personally, if a man ripped apart 4 monsters to save me and then tucked me into bed with personal and emotional affirmations, I'd be like, I could do a second date.
I could get used to this. All right, so that wraps episode 3. We want to hear from you as we continue to build this little world of ours and fall in love as we dive into these fantastical worlds, fabulous folklore, and fine males and men. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe on YouTube at A Court of Books and Babes Pod. And please, please, please take 5 minutes to rate and review our podcast and share it with all the babes in your life. Until next time,
Stay bookish, babes.
Yep.
until next time. Don't we say until next time together?
But I thought that felt
Oh,
weird.
yeah, right.
We did, and then we both say stay bookish, babes.
You're just staring at me.
I'm
I'm
like-
yeah, there you go. What's this called? I clearly cannot go off script and like says, why are you looking at me?